Hey doing, this is Sean McVeigh, Sean's Outdoor Adventures. In this video I'm going to show you how to make adjustments on the Dragon X6. I'm going to show you how to adjust the arrow rest, the sight, and how to change the draw length. So let's get to it. First let's talk about the arrow rest. So what you want to do is find the appropriate Allen wrench key, and there's a screw on the side here. You will loosen that, and that will enable you to move the rest in and out. There are straight line markings on the top of the rest here, so you can kind of see how far you're moving it. I need to loosen this a little bit more. Okay, I'm just going to exaggerate and push it way out of alignment here real quick. So you can see the arrow rest. Let me zoom in for you. So here's the arrow rest, and the risers here, you basically want this centered over the riser because you want your arrows coming straight off the bow. You can see it's closer to being centered right where it's at now, so I'm going to go ahead and tighten it back up. You might need to do some fine tuning, but you can kind of eyeball it and get it centered over the shelf of the riser. You also want the arrow to sit on here horizontal. This looks pretty good. If your arrow was tipped up, let's say, I'm going to exaggerate, let's say your arrow was like, tipped like this, you need to raise the arrow rest. To do that, there's actually a screw hole, or screw in, there's a hole right here in this piece of the arrow rest. The Allen wrench key goes down into the hole, and then you would loosen it, and then this will slide up and down, as you can see here. And then so you want to set it appropriately and then tighten it up. Again, you can kind of just eyeball it to get it close. That's fairly close. It's actually looks like it's pointed up a little bit now, so I'd have to loosen this and just move it down. I will get to that in a little bit, but let's keep showing you how to make adjustments. Now for the sight, okay, you have a 3-pin sight here. The adjustments for each individual pin is an Allen wrench screw on the side, so you can individually move one up and down. But what you want to do is set the first pin first. So generally where it's set right there is about where you'd want it, a little bit above center. And the way you set the first pin is you go to the distance you want to set it for. Let's say it's 10 yards. And you move the pin in the direction of arrow. If your arrows are hitting high, you're going to move the whole sight housing up. To do that, there is a screw down in here. And you're going to loosen it, and now let's say if it was hitting high, I would slide this up. See how that went up, and then I'd tighten it back up, and you'd shoot again. Now if it hits low, that means you went too high, and you got to move it back down. But that's how you make adjustments on the sight. That's your vertical. Okay, let's move that just back down. Now if it's hitting way to that side, you want to move the whole sight housing that way. So there's a screw up here on the top. Right here, you're going to loosen that with your Allen wrench. Again, the Allen wrenches are provided. And now I'm going to move this over. I don't know if you can see that. I'm just going to move it back so you can see me move. Whoop, I went too far. So you're going to move it in the direction of arrow and then tighten it back down. Once the first pin is set, you go back about 10 yards to set the second pin, and let's say that the arrows hit low. So you're going to move the individual pin at that point, which is this screw here. The way this is, the two pins are currently as close together as they need to be, so I would actually need to drop the bottom pin even lower by loosening that screw right there, drop it all the way down, then move this one down, and then you go back another 10 yards to set the bottom pin, the bottommost pin here. You'll do the same thing. Let's say the arrows are hitting low, you'd move that pin just by itself by adjusting this screw here, that pin down, and that's how you set the gap between your pins. So you set the first pin first, and then, and by the way, you set the first pin by moving the whole housing to where it needs to be. Then the subsequent pins, you just use this screw over here to drop them lower to compensate. The farther away from the target you are, the more the arrow wants to drop due to gravity. So you have to actually aim the bow up higher, which is why those pins are lower. So you raise that pin up to put it on the center of the target, and that shoots the arrow on an arc and it hits where you want to go. Let's say you go back another 10 yards, you're going to have to aim even higher. That's why the pin's lower. You shoot an even higher arc to hit in that center of the target. So that's what's happening with the sight pins, and that's how you set them up. Is adjusting the draw weight. There is a limb bolt right here. You're going to take your largest Allen wrench. Now right now I have the Allen wrench off to the side. I like to try to line it up as close to this up and down position as possible. And then if we're going to loosen it, I like to do it in one full turn. So we're going to do one full turn, two full turns. I would say you can do a maximum of about 2 turns at a time. Then you would take it out and you do the same on the other one, the same amount of turns. So let's try to line that up. There we go. 1 full turn, 2 full turns. Now, if you really want to lower the draw weight, you can keep going. 1, 2. Let's do the other one. 1, 2. So now we have adjusted the draw weight. Okay, lastly, I want to zoom in and just show you how to change the draw length. To do that, I'm going to lay the bow on the floor and set the camera on a tripod over here, just so you can get an up-close look at how we're going to adjust these. These are the draw length modules. Okay, so here is the top, no, actually this is the bottom cam, and there is a screw right in here it's at the 23-inch draw length setting. All the way up at the end is the 28-inch draw length setting. Let's say we want to move it to the 25-inch draw length setting. We're going to take the appropriate Allen wrench and then just loosen this screw right here very carefully. Take it all the way out. Okay, now you can see the threaded screw hole is right there. I'm going to slide till it's the 25-inch setting hole and put the screw back in, and then I'm going to tighten it up. Now you want to be careful. You do want to get it a little bit snug with this, but you do not want to over tighten it because you can risk stripping it out. So let's move to the other end here. I'm just going to slide the bow. Here is the other end. Now it's currently in the 23-inch draw length setting. We're going to move it to the 25. Here's the 25 right here. So to do that, I'm going to take my Allen wrench, put it in there. Okay, there's our threaded hole. You can see down in there. We're going to move it. There's 24, 25. And then we put our screw back into that threaded hole. Tighten it up. There you have it. That is how you change the draw length on the Dragon X6 compound bow. And now this is where this part of the draw module is going to hit the cable when it comes around, and that will prevent it from going any farther. That's how you get the draw length setting. Folks, there you have it. That is how you adjust the Dragon X6 compound bow by Sanlita. Please hit that like button. If you want to subscribe, go ahead and do that. My channel is largely about archery and bow hunting. If you're into that, stay tuned. If not, thanks for tuning into this video. Until next time, take care and God bless.